again, everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if this is your first time joining me here today. Hi, my name is Hannah. Welcome to the channel. I talk a lot. It is what it is. I'm a rambly person, so see, I'm doing it again. I'm rambling right here in the introduction. Wow. Okay, so as you can see today, we're going to be doing another highly requested Walmart Storytime video because y'all literally, that's all y'all care about. Like, girl, stop doing anything else. Just hit us with that Walmart. So today we're going to be doing another Walmart story video. So buckle in because this one is a creepy one. So this first story, while kind of creepy and weird, is still pretty funny to me. Like, I find it very humorous. So basically, over the course of the 6 months that I worked at Walmart, this older man would come into my particular Walmart, and without fail, he would always come to my register. No matter which register I was at, he would always come to the one I was at. So I guess you could call him my regular, I don't know. But he was always in one of those little hover around shopping carts. So like I said, pretty much every time this man came through, he was on one of those little driving carts. And so this day he came up to my register and he asked me, he said, you know, I want a Coke. So I walked over to the thing and I got him a Coke, and I was like, you know, it'll be $1.50 or however much it was. And so he got the money out and he was like, you know, in my day, Cokes, you could get a Coke for 5 cents, just a nickel. And you were lucky to have a nickel. And I was like, yes, sir. That's gonna be $1.50 or however much it was. And he was like, what's your name? And I was like, my name's Hannah, because it's on my badge, you know, my name's Hannah. And he's like, Hannah, that's an old-timey name. You got you a husband? And I said, no, sir, don't have me a husband, because at that time I was single. And he was like, well, Hannah, you seem like a good woman. And I was like, thanks, old man. I don't understand. He's like, you seem like a good woman. I'm looking for me a girlfriend. I got me a wife and she ain't worth nothing, won't never do nothing. So I'm looking for me a girlfriend. And I'm just like, that's hilarious, but it ain't me. This ain't it. No. So I'm just like, yes, sir. Basically, whenever I didn't know what to say to somebody, I would just say, or yes, sir, yes, ma'am, or whatever. So I was like, okay, please leave. No, but I'm just like sitting there listening to him. And so he asked me what my last name was. And, you know, I told him. And he was like, Hannah Goodman. Now that sounds like, I don't know what name he said. He was like Edward Goodman or something like that. And he's like, Edward Goodman, he lives down at this part. And he said like the name of the area where my grandparents live. And I was like, no, sir, but my grandparents live over there. And I said my grandparents' name. And a lot of people in this town that I worked knew my grandparents because they, like, my grandpa was the justice of the peace and everything, and they like worked with the church a lot and all this kind of stuff. And so he was like, oh yeah, him. And then he said a random name and then my grandparents' last name. And I'm like, no, correct last name, wrong first name. And so then I told him again, and then he said my dad's name on my grandparents' last name. So, what are you talking about? So this man is sitting here with me for 15 minutes doing incorrect but partially correct combinations of people I know, their names. So finally, I'm just sitting there and listening to him, and he says again, he says, you know, Hannah, I'm looking for me a good woman. Do you know any women? And I'm like, no, sir, because this man was like 85 years old. I'm just like, no, sir, I don't know. And so he's just like, well, I'm looking for me a girlfriend because my wife, I got me a wife, but she ain't no good. She won't do nothing for me. I don't know. She won't clean. She won't cook. She won't do nothing. I need me a girlfriend. And so I'm just like, okay. Literally all he bought was a Coke, and he's standing there for like 15 to 20 minutes sitting here talking to me about this. And I'm just like, So finally he ended up leaving, but like he was just like so weird, like funny but weird, you know. So anyway, I'm like, ugh, whatever. So he finally leaves. A few days later, he comes back in on his little hover around thing. He drives it over to the girl at the cash register next to mine, and he stands up and says to her, here, baby, you need to take this because I'm just too tired to ride this thing today. This old man was playing like he needed the hover round, but he was too tired to use the hover round. Wouldn't you need to use it if you were tired? Like, isn't that the point for older people to use them when they're too tired? But no, he was too tired to ride the hover round. Okay, this man is crazy, just insane. I'll never understand. I'll never understand. Another really weird / creepy situation that would always happen to me. And keep in mind that when I worked at this Walmart, I had one visible tattoo. One. And that was this backcountry right here. That is the only visible tattoo I had, okay? So I had two other ones. I had the wolf on my leg and the rose on my foot. And that's it, okay? So, that's the only one, and this still happened to me. Guys would just come through there, and they would always be like, ooh, I love your tattoo, ooh, tattoo, blah, blah, blah. They would just like try to talk to me about it when obviously they didn't know anything about it. You know, like they would come through and they'd be like either scratchers or just like people with really crappy tattoos or people who are promoting scratchers. Didn't make any sense to me. But like they'd come through and be like, so you're gonna keep spending way too much money on your tattoos at a shop, or you want to come to my garage and let me tattoo you? And I'm like, no, I'm just gonna keep spending too much money on a tattoo. Which, by the way, if you know tattoos, you should know there's no such thing as spending too much money on a tattoo unless you're spending like $400 on script, in which case, why are you spending $400 on a script tattoo? Unless it's like huge, you know. But anyway, that was stupid. A prime example of that is one night I was about to get off work, okay? This dude comes to my register, and I don't know why all these creepers show up at night, but anyway, this dude comes to my register, and I think at this point I was still with the guy I was dating. So this takes place before the first story I told you. So at this point, I was still with the guy that I was dating, and you know, I wasn't looking for companionship. So this guy comes up and he's with his buddy. And so they're sitting there talking to me, making small talk. And so I'm ringing all their stuff up. They had a lot of stuff. I'm assuming that they lived together because they were getting groceries. So anyway, I'm ringing them up and everything, and this one guy starts talking to me about my tattoo. And so I'm talking, you know, small talk, blah, 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 whatever. And I was just like thinking in my head, you know, all I'm thinking about is I'm ready to get off work, bye-bye. So I'm sitting there ringing them up, and when I get done, the guy who's gonna pay for it is like, oh crap, I left my credit card in the car. I'm gonna go get it. Okay, whatever. So he goes outside, leaves me with the guy who's like talking to me about the tattoos. And so he's talking to me and like keeps talking to me and asking me all these questions. And he shows me his phone after a minute, and he's like, oh my God, my friend texted me and was like, I need to get your number. Ha ha ha, isn't that so funny? And I'm like, yeah, it's so funny. I really do not care, could not care less, but okay. And so he keeps talking to me, and he's like, so about that number, and like his tattoos were really bad, by the way, really poorly done, house tattoos, just not good, and he was like promoting a scratcher too, so I was just like so not into it. So anyway, I'm being polite, you know, we're standing there waiting. It's super awkward because all the stuff is rang up. His friend is gone, and I'm just standing there with him like, please stop talking to me about this. So he keeps trying to get my number, and I'm like, no, I have a boyfriend. Goodbye, sir. No. And conveniently, as soon as I tell him that I have a boyfriend, his friend walks back in, and he's like, oh, I have my card. I don't know where it was, blah, blah, blah. They were standing there. He was standing there with me alone for 25 minutes. Literally 25 minutes. I got off work like 10 minutes late because of it. And like this guy was still like creeping on me. Like, it was so weird because like there's ways to approach people if you're interested in them, but trying to flirt with people at work and get someone to date you while they're at work and they literally can't be mean to you is probably one of the worst things that you can do. Like, if you do that persistently, you are a terrible person because they can't tell you off. They can't really be mean to you in a way that shows you they're not interested. You might still think they're interested in you, even if they say no, because they have to smile and be kind to you and polite to you while they're at their job. Just because someone's nice to you while they're at work doesn't mean that they want to sleep with you. I'm so sorry about it, but that's just the truth. Don't hit on people or flirt with people like heavily while they're at work. I mean, if you say like one flirty thing and like the situation kind of warrants it, like if you kind of feel like the person likes you or whatever, you can say like one comment as long as it's not inappropriate or like crazy weird, you know? Like, I mean, I don't know how to explain this, but don't flirt with people while they're at their job. It's like super unprofessional on like, it's just a really weird thing, and it makes people feel really uncomfortable. So please don't flirt with people while they're at work because they can't really accurately express themselves. Okay, so this last creepy, weird story, whatever you want to call it, is about this guy that I worked with who would persistently try to ask me out. And it kind of is like the last situation, except for you don't really have to be nice to the people that you work with. While I do recommend that you do that, because I mean, if the people you work with like you, then you're gonna have a better time than if they don't. But this guy was on the, I don't know what you call it. He was on like the cleanup staff or whatever, sanitation, janitorial, whatever you want to call it. But he was just like not my type. I was not attracted to this guy. His personality was really off-putting because he was really obnoxious and not very nice to be around. So I was just like, not interested in you. Also, when I first started working there, I had a boyfriend, so not interested at that point. But literally over the entire 6 months that I worked there, he would not leave me alone, and it was so annoying and creepy. Like, literally, I would just be standing there ringing somebody up, and I look over, and he's just standing there staring at me from, like, the middle of the store. It's so creepy. I don't understand why you want to do that. I politely told him no thank you the first time that he was, like, hitting on me and trying to go out with me. I was like, no thank you. I'm not interested. I'm sorry. But, like, literally, I don't know why people don't understand that if I say, no, I don't like you, no, I don't want to go out with you, that's pretty much going to stay the same. It's not going to change over time, so you don't need to ask me multiple times every single month if I'll go out with you, because the answer is still no, and the more you ask, the harder of a no it's going to be. Hard pass. Please stop. But this guy was like so creepy. He would like follow me around the store whenever I would have to go do something else. Like if I had to put up something cold, he would follow me. If I had to go ask somebody in another department a question, he would follow me. Literally just would follow me around the store. And after work too, he would like watch me go to my car. It was so freaking creepy. Like at one point I had a CAP team member walk me to my car because I was like creeped out by this guy. It was like so weird, and I was not here for it. Thank you guys once again so much for joining me again today. Leave me a like if you like this video, comment down below, and subscribe because I make new videos every Monday and Friday. Thank you guys once again so much for joining me today, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!